Russian news. Russian news is the most interesting thing that happens in Russia. Rogozin promised Putin to launch rockets more often into space. Rogozin promised Putin to launch rockets more often into space. The head of Roscosmos also reported to the president on the financial status of the Russian space industry. The Roscosmos state corporation conducted 22 launches in 2018. In 2019, this number is planned to be more than doubled, up to 45 rocket launches. Dmitry Rogozin, director of the state corporation, reported to Russian President Vladimir Putin during a meeting in the Kremlin. He also informed the head of state about the growth in revenue and the reduction in the debt burden of corporate organizations. In 2018, we had 22 launches. In 2019, Vladimir Vladimirovich, 45 start UPS are ahead, an increase of more than twice. The load is large, but I believe that we will cope with it, Rogozin said during the meeting, the transcript of which is published on the Kremlin website. The correction of the financial condition of the Russian rocket and space industry went in two directions, a reduction in non-production costs and an increase in corporate profits, the head of Roscosmos noted. According to him, he introduced the personal responsibility of officials for the execution of the budget and the adoption of measures to reduce the estimates of the companies they headed. Consolidated revenue of the organizations of the Roscosmos State Corporation, compared with 2017, increased from 304 to 387 billion rubles. This year they plan to increase up to 445 billion rubles. For the first time we have a net consolidated profit, which this year, in 2019, we are planning to quadruple, Rogozin stressed. Telling the head of state about the receivables of state corporation organizations, the director of Roscosmos noted a reduction in the debt burden and stricter control over the fulfillment by enterprises of their obligations under the contracts concluded. We do not give advances to enterprises until they have concluded agreements, contracts with their organizations of cooperation, until they have accounted for the use of previous advances, and already immediately gives an effect to no. Separately, Rogozin dwelt on the situation at the Khrunichev State Space Research and Production Center. According to him, the state corporation together with the Ministry of Finance worked on the option of supporting the enterprise within the framework of the state program. In a short time we managed to agree with creditor banks on the transfer of payments of the main body of the loan to 2029. Now they began to pay off all loans, said the head of Roscosmos, and added that the company had fully restored production. However, he acknowledged that the situation on it remains difficult, but controllable. In early January, Dmitry Rogozin, in an interview with RBC, called the idea of creating a single rocket space holding based on Roscosmos, which would include all Mazanti RTI systems and KTRV, correct. At the same time, he noted that the export earnings of these corporations could be used to promptly solve the problems of a state enterprise. Commenting on this statement, the head of the Tactical Missiles Corporation, Boris Obnosov, said that the companies he heads do not have a single extra ruble to provide financial assistance to the state corporation. He also noted that at the expense of the profits of the corporation headed by him, the financial condition of the state enterprise could not be improved.